Digestive problems are very common. Problems that actually involve digestion are changes like bloating, cramps or stomach pains. These are the changes in the epithelium of the digestive tract. The digestive system is made up of two basic types of tissues. Outside the combined woven is the flat epithelium and cylindrical epithelium. Cylindrical cylinder, cylindrical, responds to the so-called conflict of my teeth. Bite can be all that is necessary to survive, or something to get rid of what must be released to ensure survival and peace. People used to say that the conflict of my teeth is nothing without or what cannot live. These may be any actions aimed at getting rid of the trouble we have gathered under the common denominator of the my teeth conflict. The special feature of the conflict of my teeth is the fact that they are for a specific part of the brain and only shuts off the fuse. Therefore they can only cause changes in the epithelial tubule, changes in the epithelium of the digestive tract. Every time they rely on its bold inactive period. After that, this thickened part of the tissue produces additional secretions, which promotes the digestion or movement of food by increasing hydration or absorption. What is the meaning of thickening of the cylindrical epithelial layers? These are without exception asymptomatic processes that we do not notice. Lack of the symptoms we owe to wise and predictable Mother Nature, which does not allow for the symptoms preceding the cessation of the conflict. Only with its completion will we drink the beer that we ourselves have brewed. Let's look at conflicts. In the active period, the meaning of the formation of individual changes is revealed. These are depending on the conflict. The epithelial change of cylindrical curvature of the larger stomach related to the I cannot digest conflict. I did not get prey, I did not get what I need. I paid, I signed, I earned it, and yet I did not receive the reward I owed. So it is a conflict of the kind I cannot make it my what is mine. 30. I cannot start using it. Use this. Reap the benefits. Because they did not pay me. Something they did not give. Something did not break, or something did not. This is a conflict of my teeth when I do not get what I owe or what concerns me. In that case the stomach wall thickens, producing an additional amount of hydrochloric acid, which helps in digestion. That way our body is trying to help us win what we deserve and what we have not achieved so far. What also causes problems and disturbs digestion, pain and intestinal problems. This is a change in the upper and lower sections of the duodenum and small intestine. Colon ascending, transverse colon, colon descending or colonic colon, so-called DESI, until the middle part of the small intestine. Let's say that the small intestine is divided into two parts. So if a change occurs between the stomach and the middle of the small intestine, it was created as a result of the conflict threatening the loss of my teeth. There is a danger that we will lose what we had before. I will start to stress that I received what I owed, such as retirement pay, income or other income, which is invariably mine, and now they want to take it away. Conflicts of risk of loss of my teeth appear in the upper part of the small intestine, and in the lower part of the small intestine there are ailments associated with junk conflicts foul. It is not about very dirty stories, rather ugly things. Often wicked going inside the family. For example, a child as a wicked perceives the row between his father and his mother. So be careful not to argue with children, because it can cause conflict in the child, which will have totally unnecessary bad effects. Conflicts in the colon, which starts with the appendix, blind bowel. Actually, the appendix is the initial segment of the large intestine. They are conflicts that have already been associated with serious plugs and appear throughout its length. Any family bug survived wickedness. When family members stand against each other, they are maddening with each other getting sick. Sometimes relationships in the family are cooled down, we lose contact with each other. And sometimes we even quarrel and hurt each other. Conflicts of impurity and filth cause thickening of the intestinal wall. In the course of getting out of the disease and the process of inflammation, decomposition of the superficial tissue occurs. We do not feel symptoms of active period, because they will only appear during convalescence. When the wall of the bowel swells, less efficient produces enzymes, and has less absorption capacity. This results in excessive gas, digestive trouble and intestinal cramps. Intestinal cramps are not solely caused by inflammation of the intestinal wall, but also induces them intestinal peristalsis, which irritates the affected area. This results in smooth muscle contraction and severe pain. In that case, it is imperative to lie down, rest. Be careful not to take too much liquid. Choose the right food. If possible, consume easily digestible meals. Besides, you just have to survive the symptoms of getting out of the illness appearing during convalescence. And they include irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, inflammation of the intestines, pseudomembranous colitis, celiac disease, lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance. There is also no gluten sensitivity. Unfortunately, on the basis of a one-off symptom, we often make a diagnosis of the whole of human life. It is abnormal. It's as if on the basis of the fact that today I saw a spot on my face, I assumed that I would have it for the rest of my life. So either celiac disease or gluten sensitivity does not exist as a separate disease. They are simply mild inflammation of the small intestine. If someone passes intestinal inflammation, it should not avoid food and only go on diet. And when the special program ends, you can freely return to normal food. Absolutely not for the rest of your life to catapult gluten-free diet, lactose-free or any other. There are two reasons. First of all, this is not a solution. Secondly, you can paradoxically maintain the disease. Think of a child in primary school to which the doctor said, "Baby, you are hypersensitive to gluten, and since then you cannot eat anything that contains it." The child is wandering to school. Of course, my mother had prepared a gluten-free homemade bread before. And before that, he was thrusting into his throat other extraordinary delicacies. Meanwhile, the child goes to school, looks at the canteen, and there lies a delicious sliced bread, and the baby starts to drool. My God, but I would have eaten it. Try this crisp crust. But I cannot eat what I've eaten since I've eaten bread, but now I'm forbidden. I will not be able to eat bread until the end of my life. In this way, the problem of the child has been preserved. Not enough, another conflict will trigger this: I cannot eat what I want. As a conflict of loss of my teeth, it will affect the child's digestive system. Celiac disease will never pass. It must be understood that celiac disease, hypersensitivity to flour, gluten or milk are temporary. And only if they keep the diet or do not resolve the conflict they get into chronic diseases. Important thing is, work on the removal of the cause, not symptomatic treatment. So just imagine what happens when you drive a car. We will notice a red brake failure indicator. We'll stop, slow down, go to the site. And if the service compares to conventional medicine, doctors actually see the problem. They work on principle. I twist the red bulb, goodbye, and the brake still does not work. The main problem of today's conventional medicine, I point out that we do not criticize, we do not blame, because it also has a great knowledge. Only the lack of some basic information stops it from fully understanding the subject. So the main problem and at the same time sad thing, instead of removing the cause, he deals with the leveling down of symptoms. This means that instead of repairing the car, they remove the signaling failure of the control. I have some symptom, and instead of removing the conflict that this symptom persists, with love and care they will remove me and all the organs. By itself, without knowing the origin of the change. Men should therefore learn new medicine. You need to realize that this is not a great effort, and you can do it in a few months. After which man no more wandering.